Alright, hello everybody. I wanted to make a video today on how to rebuild the Petcock on a KLR 650. This Petcock right here is out of a 2007 model KLR. Right now it's leaking gasoline back around this area in the back, and there's some kits out there where you can totally do away with the vacuum and you can just make it a on or off system. I don't want to do that. I like having the vacuum feed on it so that I don't have to worry about the carburetor float sticking or something, my engine filling with gasoline. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rebuild the factory Petcock so I can put it back in there. I bought from K&L a Petcock repair kit. I'll set it up here so you can kind of see the number on it. If you do a Google search for K&L KLR 650 Petcock Rebuild, this is what you'll get. And so yeah, that's the package, and this is it. Pretty much this thing is only held together by just a few screws. There's 2 on the front right here that you'll pull out, and then there's 4 on the back that you'll pull apart. And I'll take that apart, and then I'll go through all the parts of the kit here and what's included in the kit, where to put it back in here, and how to reassemble all of it. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these screws out and disassemble it, and then I'll get back. So once you take these 2 screws out of the front right here, this little cover plate will come off. There is a little ring underneath there that will need to come out, and then this assembly will pull out of the front. The on and off switch pulls out of the front of it. Alright, so that's pretty much all the disassembly for the front. There's a seal in here that we'll have to remove. A little piece of rubber that will come out, and that's your disassembly on the front side of it. Alright, so now for the back side. So when you take the back side loose, depending on how it comes apart, that's all there is to that part. Take these screws out. And then you've got a little gasket. And this is probably what was leaking on mine. It looks like it's kind of in bad shape here. You got a gasket there. Actually, that's probably the vacuum seal, and then underneath it a spring. Alright, so that's pretty much it for disassembly. Now I'm going to shut this off. I'm going to open the package, talk about what all's in the package, and then we'll talk about how to go about replacing all this. Okay, over here I have laid out all the things that come in the package. There's really only 4 parts. You've got this little piece that goes in the front side that replaces that you saw me take off. This O-ring right here, which replaces the O-ring that goes around the top in between the tank and the Petcock when you put it on there. So this O-ring goes on here. Probably have to take a little bit of grease or something to get it held in there while you put it on the tank, but it kind of goes in there like that and creates a seal between the Petcock and the tank. Actually it stayed, so I'm just going to leave it there. You've got an O-ring here which replaces this O-ring on your on and off switch, so we can go ahead and put that on there. set that off to the side. And then you've got the diaphragm here, which works to kind of actuate the vacuum on and off for the gas, and that replaces these two sides on here. Now you're going to reuse this piece of plastic here, so this pushes through. So just kind of push it through the middle. You might want to keep up with which direction this piece of plastic is oriented. So pull that one out. Alright, set it aside, and then take your new one, and you're going to have to put it back through here. Now obviously you're going to want to be real careful and not damage this diaphragm as you're feeding it all back through here. So just kind of ball it up and get it stuck back through there, and then gently work on getting this back through. Alright, so I finally got it through there. It took a little bit of work. I was really trying to be careful so I didn't damage it. If you'll notice, when you put this on, this plastic piece is made different on both sides. So on the side that this longer piece sticks out of, there are two little studs, little plastic studs that stick up that you're going to line up with your diaphragm, and then on the back side those studs are kind of catty-cornered at each other, so they're not lined up. So there's really only one way that this will all go back together. If you look inside of the petcock itself, there's holes right here and right here for those two studs that are across from each other, and then on the outside cover the holes are catty-cornered to each other, so that you can't line it up wrong. So what you do, now that you've got it, the diaphragm put back in there, be real careful, make sure everything's in place and that the holes are where they need to be, and line it up back up with your petcock. Get everything lined up, it'll snap back together there. And then your vacuum sticks out the same side as your fuel line, so you're going to want to put it on there in this orientation. Again, make sure everything is laying flat, kind of double check it, make sure there's no wrinkles or anything, and then it's just a matter of screwing that part back together. Oh, I left the spring out, so let me back up here, take this back apart. Your spring is going to go on the back side of it, inside of here. So yeah, it wouldn't work too well if you left that out. So there's the spring. And there's those parts. Well, there we go. There we go. So now it's all back together the way it goes. Screws back in it. I'm just going to put one in there right now to hold it. Okay, that's going to hold it in place. Now we're going to replace this rubber piece inside of here. Should just fit down in there. I've already put the new O-ring on here, so that'll go inside like that. Metal ring. On and off switch. Cover, and then we replace these screws, and you're going to reinstall it back in your tank. well, I'll get it after the end of the video here. But we're going to tighten everything back up really well. Might even put a little Loctite on my screws just to make sure that they don't vibrate loose, and install it back in the tank, and shouldn't have any more leaks after that. Hope this helps you out a little bit. If you like it, please hit the like button. Thank you. Bye.